Okay, so we're lying back on the mat and just kind of arranging your body in such a way that you feel nice and restful and lying at ease. So we rest for a few minutes, give ourselves a chance, an opportunity to ask how we're feeling, what's going on. It's a kind of moment to check in with yourself. How's your day been? What's the effect of what you've done today on your body? And appreciating that everything we do has an effect. Sometimes we feel energized, awake. Sometimes we feel heavy, tired. Sometimes we feel like the body's been very well used, like we've been walking along very far, or we've been doing lots of physical activity. Sometimes it feels the body is kind of stagnant. We've been doing a lot of sitting. And none of these things are good or bad. It's not right or wrong. Just in this moment, letting yourself notice things simply as they are. No judgment. And like this, we draw alongside our body. Also appreciating that the mind and the body are not really separate at all. But it's kind of useful sometimes to think about it in those terms. So drawing alongside your body, being with it. So now we have that established and we feel a little bit present, aware. We're going to come up into sitting, just taking it really slowly. So I'd suggest bringing the knees up. Maybe even just hold the knees in towards your chest for a little moment. Maybe even just a little bit rocking side to side. And then making our way up into sitting. You might want to roll over onto one side. You might want to rock and roll forwards and backwards until you come up into sitting. Just any which way is going to work best for you. So we're going to do a little bit of breathing practice to start off with. So we're going to be doing a Kapalabhati breathing, which involves a fairly forceful exhale through the nose. So if we were in a class right now, I'd hand around the tissue and see if anyone wants to blow your nose. So if you've got a tissue handy, or if you want to just run and grab a tissue and blow your nose, or clear yourself out, please just go right ahead. I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to turn off the microphone so you don't get a blast of my... Alrighty, so we're sitting comfortably. It doesn't have to be cross-legged, just any which way is going to work best for you. And Kapalabhati literally means skull shining. So the idea being that you're kind of cleansing the breath, and it starts to heat up the body, and also allows the sort of mind and awareness to sort of become really clear and shining. So it involves a forced exhale, and it's a little bit like we're blowing through a straw. So if you could imagine, maybe we could try it. Just imagine curling your fingers around, making an imaginary straw, and we're going to blow through it like this. So kind of forced exhale, and you'll feel your belly work when you blow. Except that when we do this breath, we're going to do it with the mouth closed. So the breath comes out through the nose. And then we just do a very relaxed inhale. So not forcefully drawing the breath in, just kind of relaxing and allowing the breath in. So we're going to do 10, just at sort of a nice easy pace like this. So just joining in when you feel ready. Forced exhale. Okay, that's roughly 10. So you'll feel the belly working. Now, the reason why we're doing this this time of year is because we've got the small intestine as an organ. It's basically the guts. It's representing the fire in the belly, the digestive fire. We want to just sort of stoke the fire a little bit using this kind of breath, bringing the energy down into the hara, into the belly. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit faster, and we're going to do 30 breaths. So you'll feel the belly forceful in, relaxed out. Sorry. Forceful out, relaxed in. That's it. That's the one. Okay. We'll do 30 breaths. This kind of pace. So just joining in when you feel ready. 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, and then just relaxing, sitting up nice and tall, letting the breath just come back to normal. And just noticing, how do you feel? What's that kind of breath doing in your body? Or what has it done? Okay, so we're going to do another round, this time focusing on, we're just going to drop the chin a little bit down, and then for each out breath where we force the breath out, we're just going to lift a little bit in the pelvic floor. Okay, so squeeze in from underneath as we blow out, and then when you breathe in, we relax the pelvic floor. So it's quite a sort of swift, sort of pulsing movement for the pelvic floor, but nevertheless it's about sort of squeezing the energy down into the belly as we do that, as the breath comes out. Okay, so we're going to do another round of 30. So this pace. So just joining in when you feel ready. 27, 28, 29, 30. And again, relaxing, breathing totally normally, and seeing how you feel. What's the effect? Centering the attention in the belly, in the middle of your hara. Stoking the fire is what we've been doing, so we can just notice the fire beginning to burn a little bit stronger, brighter, the energy drawing in, centering in the belly. In the yoga tradition, they call this our inner sun. The Surya, the sun, the yang, the bright, the hot. So very much connected with our summertime, with this yang time of the year. So we're going to do another round of a third round of 30, so our final round. So same kind of pace. So just joining in when you feel ready. 27, 28, 29, 30. And then relaxing, releasing, softening, breathing normally. Allowing the energy to really build, to gather to accumulate in your belly, in your guts, in your hara. Okay, so we're going to come to lie down from here. So back to where we were when we first started. Now, this time of year, things are hot, especially this particular week, very warm weather. The last thing we want is the heart to get overheated. So we're working with the energy of the heart and the small intestine. And if the heart gets a bit hot and overheated, whether that be physically in the chest, whether that be emotionally, whether that be energetically, then the whole energy of the body gets drawn up, and it's sort of like topsy-turvy. So starting off working with the developing or accumulating the energy in the belly helps things to stay down, grounded, helps our fire to stay underneath the heart rather than on top of it. So I'm going to work a little bit now physically with the hara. So if we bring the hands up to the ceiling and up over the top of the head, I'm going to have the hands above the head just resting comfortably on the floor. Maybe it's above your head, maybe it's slightly out to the side, just as you need. So we're going to bring the legs together. I'm going to lift the legs just 1 or 2 centimeters up off the floor with a breath out. Breathing out, lift the legs. Breathing in, release down. Okay, so we're going to try and do that 5 or 6 times. If it feels quite strong, then bend the knees first. Okay, so breathing out, lifting. Breathing in, lowering. Breathing out, lifting. Breathing in, lowering. Breathing out just a few centimeters up off the ground. Doesn't have to be much. Breathing out. Breathing in, releasing. Yeah. Breathing out, lifting. Breathing in, releasing. 2 more times. Breathing out, lifting. Breathing in, release. Yeah, last time. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in, release. Okay, let the hands come down to the side of your body. Just take a few moments to relax and to release. Working in the lower part of our belly. So now, if we lift the legs up straight facing up towards the ceiling. So it doesn't have to be straight legs. They can be bent in the knees if you need. Just feet reaching up towards the ceiling. And then if we take the hands also up facing the ceiling, we're going to see if we can reach up to touch your toes. So on the breath out, reach up towards your toes. Breathing in, release the head back to the floor. So breathing out, reach up. Breathe in, back to the floor. Breathe out, reach up. Breathing in, release the head. Yeah, 3 more times. Breathe out, reach. Breathing in, release. Breathing out, reach up. Breathing in, release. Yeah, 1 more time. Breathing out, reaching up. Breathing in, release. So we're going to release the legs down to the floor. Actually, let's bring the hands down first, and then we'll bring the legs down to the count of 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. So legs down, hands down, head down, everything relax. As much as we work the belly, it's important, is perhaps even more important, to spend time relaxing and releasing the belly. So let's just breathe here and center the attention in your belly, in your hara. Continuing to let the energy gather. It might be for you that it feels physical, like a kind of heat or drawing in, like a contraction. It might just be that it's helpful to have a visual image of sort of energy accumulating. Maybe it's a kind of like stream of light or gas or smoke or something like that, just accumulating in the belly. It may just be that it's more like a sound, like a gurgling or rushing or bubbling down into the belly. So, lifting the legs all the way back up towards the ceiling, we're going to take the hands out to the side at shoulder height. So, hands and arms down to the floor. This will give us support. Both legs up. Now we're going to move the legs very slowly and gently towards the right side, down towards the floor. So we may not come anywhere near the floor, we're just moving down towards the right. And then up to the center, and then over towards the left. Maybe a diagonal just down towards the floor. And then up to the center. So with the breath, breathing out to the right, breathing into the center, breathing out to the left, breathing into the center. And as we're doing this, breathing out and breathing in, just be really respectful of your body, of your limits, of what feels good. And please just do less, or perhaps just stop if that feels like it's getting too much, or you've had enough, or your belly feels really energized and we don't need to do any more. So breathing out to the side, breathing into the center. Let's do one more on each side if you wish. Yep. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out to the other side, breathing into the center. Okay, so bend the knees, and this time we'll just let the feet come down to the floor. Bring your hands down both sides, and again, a chance to notice, to sense, to relax, to release in your belly. So we work the physical muscles. This draws blood, attention, fluids into your belly. They are all part of this energy we're talking about. And then when we stop and we rest, it settles and it just concentrates. Okay, so we're going to come up into sitting again. So maybe you want to roll over onto one side and come around, or maybe you want to rock and roll forwards and backwards and bring yourself up into sitting. And then we're going to come all the way over into all fours, actually. So maybe just sweep the legs round, or come over the legs into all fours. So we've been energizing into the guts, into the hara, into our small intestine as an organ. And now we're going to lengthen out and open out, cool down into the heart and the heart energy channel. So if we take both hands, so keeping the hips up above the knees, just taking both hands forwards, step them forwards, walk them forwards, and slide the hands forwards, the armpits and the chest come down towards the floor. Your bum is up. And just letting your armpits open a little bit here, keeping the arms straight if you wish, or if you wish the elbows can come down to the floor. If you find your chin, your head coming to the floor and it's difficult to keep it up, then please just come up onto fingertips if you wish. Gives yourself a little bit more space. So the heart energy line comes out from the heart organ itself, left and right, and it reaches the surface in the armpits and then runs down the arm to the little finger on both sides. Okay, so we're going to keep the right arm where it is, flat the hand down, and then lean the right ear to the right bicep, so onto the upper arm, and just lean your head down onto your arm. Yeah, and hopefully you get a sense of something lengthening into the armpit, back of the arm to the elbow. So your head is leaning, resting on your right arm. Couple of breaths here. And then we'll come up into the center and over to the left. So left arm is out straight. Head is resting down onto the left upper arm. Your ear is just resting onto the arm. And just let the weight of the head help to lengthen out through the arm. And you might find one side feels a little bit different, tighter, more open on the other side maybe. 2 more breaths. Okay, and then back to the center. Walk the hands up underneath the chest. So taking the right hand out to the side, we're going to scoop the right hand underneath the left and bring the shoulder and the side of your face all the way down to the floor. So are threading the needle. Yeah. So first of all, the chest wants to sink down to the floor, so it's like we open out through the shoulder. Well, stretching the shoulder a little bit before you start to twist and turn. Maybe now we can start to turn and look up towards the ceiling. So maybe you want to reach up towards the ceiling with the other hand. Just that nice turn. Couple of breaths. Okay, and then we'll come down and back up into all fours. And then we're going to go the other way around. So reaching out in the other direction, scooping left hand underneath the right, bringing the shoulder and the side of your face down to the ground. First of all, let the chest really sink down. Okay, before we start to twist and look up, letting the chest sink down over the shoulder. And then, should you wish, we can start to make that twist, looking up towards the ceiling, turning the head. And if you want to, reach up also into the upper arm. Couple of breaths here. And then hand back down to the floor, back up into all fours. So making sure the hands are underneath the shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips. We're going to do a little bit with some balance work here. So let's take the right hand, reaching it forwards in front of you. And then we're going to take the left leg, so opposite diagonal leg, left leg backwards and behind. So actually, this one works nicely into the belly as well, into our hara. If you want, we can really think about lifting up hand and leg as high as you can. 2 breaths here. And then both hand and knee down to the floor, and we'll go the other side. So left hand, right leg, extending. And then, if you wish, thinking about really lifting up both arm and leg. Couple of breaths. Good. And then coming back down to the floor. Now we're going to see if we can do a slightly more challenging balance here by shifting the weight over onto the right side. So right hand, right knee. And it can help if you take the right leg out to a diagonal slightly. And then we're going to see if we can take left hand and left leg straight out. Okay, so you maybe want to do one at a time. So left hand and then left leg. And see if we can find that balance. Balancing on right hand and right knee. Yep. Think about lifting hand, lifting leg high as you can. Couple of breaths. Don't mind if you wobble. It's quite good fun. And then breathing out, coming down. We're going to go over to the other side. So shift weight to the other side, left side. And then when you feel ready, when you feel stable, right hand, right leg. Extending and lifting. Yep. A little bit wobbly on the balance maybe. Think about lifting hand and leg nice and high. Focusing your eyes on the floor. 2 breaths. And then breathing out, lowering down. Taking the knees out as wide as the mat. Touch toes together. Sink backwards onto your heels. Slide the hands forwards. Keep your arms nice and straight. Elbows lifted up off the ground as you sink the body down. Chest, chin coming down towards the floor in this extended child's pose. Just a couple of breaths here. Okay, and then breathing in, back into all fours, tuck your toes, and then we're going to step the feet in towards the hands and come all the way up into standing. So this is the time of year, it feels to me, the appropriate time of year to do some work around the sun salutation and the sun salutation sequence. So we're going to do a little bit with that now. So let's come towards the front of the mat, feet hip width apart, taking the hands up towards the ceiling. Now, we're going to just add a little bit of spice to this kind of movement. If we turn the palms face up to the ceiling, and think about the little fingers pressing up towards the ceiling as you look up. So elbows wide, palms press up towards the ceiling. Nice deep breath in. And then we're going to bend the knees, take the hands to your thighs, and drop the chin down to your chest, sliding the hands down just to the level of your knees. Now you're looking at your belly, so the chin is tucked in. And then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to look forwards and start to float and lift the tail. So your bum is sticking backwards and we're looking forwards, looking up. Hands on your knees. So then we're going to slide the hands down your legs as you fold the body down, letting the head just hang down towards the floor. Once the fingers touch the floor, knees as bent as you need, look forwards, look up, half lift, and then again, release the head back down towards your legs, just forward folding. You're going to take the right foot, long step back on the mat, and flatten the hands and then step back both feet into downward facing dog. So in down dog we can emphasize different things. I'd like to emphasize today the upper body, so we'll have a good bend in the knees, and then arms nice and straight, fingers, palms flat on the floor, sinking armpits down towards the ground, forehead down towards the ground, so lengthening out through chest and shoulders. And then we're going to propel the body forwards until the shoulders come over the hands, and then lowering down. So knees first. Knees, chest and chin coming down to the floor so that your bum stays slightly up. Slide forwards until you go flat on the floor, untuck toes, elbows pinned in close to the body, pressed with the hands to lift a little bit through the chest, looking up as high as you can. Tuck toes underneath and pressing backwards and upwards into downward facing dog. So here we're going to step the right foot forwards, bringing it in between the hands, and then stepping both feet forwards. Slide the hands up the legs, coming all the way up, hands up to the ceiling, gathering energy between the palms. Palms come together, palms come down into the center of the chest, and the thumbs just touch your sternum in front of your heart. So bringing your mind into the heart space, center of the chest, and just noticing what this gesture, this mudra, feels like. Palms touching, thumbs on the front of the chest. Okay, so done it nice and slowly. Let's speed up a little bit. So breathing in, hands lift, palms face up to the ceiling, elbows out to the side, looking up, nice broad chest. Bend the knees, hands come to your thighs, drop the chin, roll down until your hands touch your knees, and then look forwards, look up, lift your tail. Breathing out, release the hands, sliding down your legs, forward bend. Touch the floor, look forwards, lift the head, half lift, and then breathing out, let the head release down towards the legs. Left foot, long step back on the mat, and then we'll step back into downward dog. 2 feet hip width apart. Bend the knees, sink the shoulders, armpits down towards the ground, and then propel your body forwards until the shoulders come over the hands. Dropping the knees down and bend the elbows so the chest and chin come down to the floor. Slide forwards, untuck toes, looking forwards, press with the hands if you wish to come up a little bit. Tuck toes underneath, going backwards and upwards into downward dog. And then we'll step left foot forwards And then the right foot also forwards. Sliding the hands up the legs, hands up to the ceiling, gathering palms together, and then coming down center of the chest, thumbs touching sternum, front of your heart. Breathing here, couple of breaths. So, next time you breathe in, reaching up, separate the palms, palms face up to the ceiling, elbows out, nice broad shoulders, breath in, and then bend the knees. As you breathe out, hands to your thighs, drop the chin. Breathe in, look forwards, lift the tail. Breathe out, slide your hands down your legs, roll down. Touch floor, breathe in, look up, lift the chin and chest. Breathe out, release the head down. Right foot, long step back. Breathing in, breathing out, stepping back, downward dog. Breathe in, shift forwards, shoulders over the hands. And then breathing out, knees down, chest and chin touch the floor. Slide forwards, breathing in, untuck toes, looking forwards and up. Tuck toes, breathing out, downward facing dog. Breathing in, right foot steps forwards. Breathing out, both feet forwards. Breathing in, slide up the legs, hands up to the ceiling, palms together. Breathing out, center of the chest. Breathing in, reach up, separate palms, palms face up, little fingers out to the side. Bend the knees, breathe out, slide down to your knees. Breathe in, look forwards, lift the tail. Breathe out, slide down the legs, roll down. Breathe in, look forwards, look up, half lift. Breathe out, release the head back down towards the legs. Left foot, breathing in, long step back. Breathe out, both feet back, downward dog. Breathe in, shift forwards, shoulders over the hands. Breathing out, knees, chest and chin. Slide forwards, untuck toes, breathing in, look forwards, look up. Tuck toes underneath, breathing out, downward dog. Left foot, long step forwards, breathing in. Breathing out, both feet forwards. Breathe in, reach up to the ceiling, bring palms together. Breathe out, center of the chest. Now we're going to be here for a little longer, so if you'd rather keep your hands here on your chest, that's nice. If you'd rather have your hands down by the side, that's also fine. So breathing here, letting the energy settle down into the belly. Broad, open, spacious, cool around the chest. Energy centering, gathering, accumulating in the belly. Okay, so next time you breathe in, hands reaching up to the ceiling, palms face up to the ceiling, elbows out to the side. Press up to the ceiling like you want to push the roof up. Look up. We're going to take 2 or 3 nice deep breaths in here. Hopefully with the breath out in between. So breathing in, elbows out to the side, palms face up. Breathing out, notice how that feels. Breathing in, broad and open. Breathing out, notice how that feels. So one more time. Nice deep breath in, opening elbows to little fingers. And then we're going to bend the knees, hands come down to your thighs. Drop the chin, slide down to your knees. So we're going to pause here with the chin tucked towards the chest, looking at the belly, round back. So here, see if you can get your arms straight and send the center between your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. Okay, so back of the neck, between the shoulder blades. See if you can get that sense of lifting up. So the center of your shoulder blades wants to reach up to touch the ceiling. With the chin down. So this is broadening and opening through the back of your heart space, back of your chest. Keep breathing. So nice deep breath out for this one. Breathing out. Lift up towards the ceiling. Breathing in, notice. Breathing out, lift up towards the ceiling. Breathing out, notice. Yeah, one more time. Breathing out. Breathing in, this time looking forwards, looking up, so lifting the tail, lifting your head. And then as you breathe out, slide hands down your legs, coming to a forward bend. We're just going to pause here in this forward bend for a few breaths. So head is heavy, dangling, releasing, noticing. So then when you're ready, we're going to come down onto your kneeling. So stepping the feet back, come down onto your knees. Now the heart energy line comes from armpit to little finger. Small intestine energy line comes up the back of the arm, through the back, the muscles, through the back of the upper arm here, the tricep muscles. So we're going to work a little bit, bringing some energy into this area here. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Actually, it makes more sense to come into a longer all fours. So let's just step the hands or the knees a little bit further apart. Yep. Now, let's see. I wonder if it's easy to see on the camera. We've got a possibility of having the elbow, like with the hand on the floor. I'm just going to hold my hands as it is. With the elbow out to the side, or we can have the elbow tucked in close to the body. So what I want to see if we can do is to come down towards the floor with the elbow tucked in close, not out to the side. Okay, we don't want to be doing this. We want to be doing it with the elbow in like this. Okay, so if that makes sense in our all fours, long all fours position. Okay, so elbows tuck in, roll in, and we're going to bend the elbows and bring the chest and chin down towards the ground. And then come up, okay? So lengthen out as much as you need to allow the chest and chin to touch the floor. We're going to do this a couple of times, yep. So bending the elbows. Elbows bend towards the back of the mat, not towards the side. Bringing the chest and chin down towards the floor. Your bum stays up. And then come up to upright, yeah? It's quite strong on the arms. So maybe you don't come all the way down to the floor. Maybe you just come a few centimeters down towards the floor. Bend the elbows, lowering down, and then coming up. Let's do that 2 more times. Yeah, if you wish, if you want the challenge. Yep. Breathing out, lowering down. Breathing in, coming up. Make sure the elbows stay nice and close to the body. So when they bend back towards the back of the mat. Last time. Breathing out, lowering down. Breathing in, coming up. Okay, so let's take a little moment of break. So come back onto your knees and give your arms a good old shake around, like relax. Yeah. Okay, so let's come forwards again into our long all fours. This time we'll come down and move into the kind of cobra part of that movement. Okay, so long all fours, bend the elbows, chest and chin come down to the floor. Your bum is slightly up. Now the energy movement here is forwards and up. Okay, so we slide out straight, untuck toes, elbows stay nice and close to the body as you look forwards, look up, press with the hands, should you wish, to come up a bit higher. Keep the elbows tucked in close to the body, keep the shoulders sinking down like your heart is reaching forwards and up, okay? It's not the shoulders, it's the heart reaching up to look up. Couple of breaths, really reaching. The heart wants to see the ceiling. It's coming forwards and up. And then from here, tuck the toes underneath. We're going to press backwards and upwards into downward dog. And we're just going to rest and pause here for a bit. Looking down between the toes. Hands are nice and flat, firm on the mat. Breathing here. Now if you want to bring the knees to the floor, please just go right ahead. If you feel you're okay with the knees up, let's see if we can take a few more breaths just here. Okay. So stepping the right foot forwards, but not all the way in between the hands. It wants to be a medium step forwards. And then we're going to come up to upright. Going to come into a warrior one position. So that means keeping the hips facing the short edge of the mat and turning the back foot in a little bit so it's flat on the ground. Bending into the front knee. So front knee comes over the front foot. Making sure we're not overarching into the lower back. We want to have the lower back long, tailbone tucking underneath. Taking the hands forwards and up. Normally we have the palms facing, but for this we're going to turn the palms to face up to the ceiling, just as we were doing earlier, like you're trying to push the walls out and up. Yeah. Your mind travels from your armpits up to your elbows, up to your little fingers as you reach out and up. Yeah. Strong in the back leg, sinking into the front knee, lifting the gaze. Couple of breaths. Nice deep breaths right up to the chest, expanding, cooling the heart. Now from here we're going to take the hands out to the side and around behind. So for this position we've got a couple options, either holding the elbows or bringing the fingertips together, perhaps holding the wrists, fingertips together, or if you find you can bring flat hands behind. Any of those positions. We're going to straighten the front leg and then make sure it's really strong. So engaging the muscles. It means that we're not falling back into a locked knee. We've got a strong leg. We're going to hinge forwards from the waist and just bringing your body into a comfortable, easy forward bend. Yeah, you'll find there's quite an intense stretch in the leg, so we want to take it really slowly and very cautiously, like exploratorily, if that's a word, moving forwards. Keeping the chest long, open. Two more breaths here. So if we release the keep the position but release the hands, bring the hands onto your thigh, and then we're going to round the back. So bring your chin in towards your chest and curling underneath. And we're looking now up towards the belly. And you might find you can come down a bit lower into that position as we curl down. So opening through the back of the body as well. Two more breaths. Good. And then bending the front knee so it's strong, we come back to upright. We're going to shift the body weight forwards onto that front leg, and we're going to do another kind of mudra with the hands. So this one is like this. We're holding the middle two fingers out, and we're tucking the other two fingers in, okay, on both hands. So we're going to extend them out side to side. So the reason why we do this, we've got the pericardium and the triple heater energy channels, which are also connected with the summer. They finish in the two middle fingers, okay? We're working with the tips of those energy lines. So we've got the weight nice and far forwards, hands out to the side, drawing the hands back behind the body a little bit, so we're broad and open across the chest. And then we'll tilt forwards and see if we can come into coming towards a balance, okay? So the back foot, toes touching, or maybe it's just toes lifting up off the ground, and then we're going to do a pulsing movement. We're going to sink down to the floor 3 times. So we bend the knee, we sink to the floor, towards the floor, and then come up, okay? So breathing out, sink down towards the floor, and then coming up. And then last one, breathing out, bending down towards the floor, and then coming up. And then we can release the hands and step to the front of the mat. Hands for the side. Take a breath to notice. So next time you breathe in, hands lifting towards the ceiling, palms face up. Bend the knees, hands to your thighs, slide down, chin down, all the way to your knees. And then breathe in, look forwards, lift the head, lift the tail. Breathe out, release the hands all the way down to the floor. Breathe in, look forwards, look up, half lift, and then breathe out, forward fold. This time we're going to step back. Let's going to step back on the... Ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? Left leg, medium step back on the mat. Is that right? No, that's my mistake. Right leg, medium step back on the mat. And we're going to come up into a warrior one pose. Gosh, that was harder, wasn't it? So, warrior one on the other leg, if that makes more sense. So we're bending into the front leg, and we're strong down the back leg. The hips, the shoulders are aligned towards the short edge of the mat. The hands lift. Especially as the hands lift, we want to be really sure we don't overarch the lower back. So make the back leg really strong, sink the tail. Yeah. Turn palms face up to the ceiling, elbows out to the side. Couple of nice, just do 3 nice deep breaths in here. Filling that, it's almost like we draw in cool air and it fills the chest and circulates around, giving the heart lots of cooling, lots of space. Yep, breathing out. Nice deep breath in, cool air circulating around the heart. Breathing out. Yeah, last one. And then as you breathe out next, we take the hands out and round to behind you. And then we'll make that same clasp. So either holding the elbows, wrists, fingertips touching, or palms together. Straightening the front leg, engaging the muscles so it's protected. And then we'll fold forwards from the hips. Finding the beginning of a stretch and just saying, okay, well, there's a stretch. Is that okay? Is that all right? Yeah, keeping the chest really nice and long and open, only coming as far as your body wants to go. It's not about the destination. It's all about the journey. It's all about the sensitivity, the listening, the responding. So 2 more breaths here. And then we're going to release the hands and bring them down to your leg. And then just tuck the chin and curl the back. So we do a little bit opening the back of the body. You might find your hands come further down the leg. Tucking right underneath. Chin tucked towards chest. Good. And then bending the front knee so it becomes really nice and strong. We'll come back to upright. Shift body weight forwards into your front leg. Make your mudra so that your 2 middle fingers stick out to the side and we're holding the other 2 fingers back. Stretching out to the side, bringing the hands a little bit behind the body so we're really opening the front of the chest. Shift body weight forwards so that you're finding a balance. Perhaps the back foot wants to lift up off the ground, eyes fixed on a point that's not moving, and then we're going to pulse down towards the floor and up again 3 times. So breathing out, sink down towards the floor. Breathing in, lift. Breathe out, sink down towards the floor. Breathe in, lift. One more time. Breathe out, sink down, and then breathing in, lift. Good. Release the hands, step to the front of the mat. Have a good shake around if you need. Okay, eyes lifting. So we're going to come down into all fours again. Now, the heart energy line, as I say, comes along and finishes in the little finger. So we're going to see if we can do a little bit of a work with this underside of the arm on the ground. So we bring the 2 hands and we're going to touch an elbow like this and find a spacing. So you're in all fours. See if we can touch the elbows and get the hands that far apart. And then we separate the hands and we're going to clasp fingers together on the mat here. Now the little finger underneath wants to tuck underneath like this so it's out of the way. Yeah. So just show that again. The little finger tucks underneath and it's out of the way. So we've got this nice strong foundation on the mat. The two elbows apart, two hands make a very strong triangle shape here underneath. Now we're going to move towards a headstand over perhaps the next few weeks. We're going to be exploring this as we go along. So in no way we're going to be doing a headstand today, but we're just going to be doing some preparation for moving in that direction. Okay, so as we're on the floor here, first thing we're going to do is just start to shift the weight forwards so that your nose comes in front of your hands. And then shift the weight backwards so that your nose comes into the triangle between your elbows. Okay, so moving forwards and backwards. Now your nose can come closer and closer to the floor each time you come, depending on your body, your strength, where you're at with your energy. Moving forwards and backwards. If you want to move with the breath, breathing out forwards, breathing in back. Yeah, so again, we're working with this small intestine heart energy line touching the floor, stimulating these channels, and working also physically with the muscles in the back of the arms, the triceps. Again, putting energy down this channel, building strength that we need for coming into a headstand. So let's see if we can do this another 5 more breaths. Now, as a challenge, if you wish, or if you feel like the energy's a bit low or you come to a satisfied point, just stop. It's your practice. Your nose may now start to touch the floor, forwards and back. So once we've done those 5, then we're going to come to sit. Sit with your legs out in front. I'm just going to turn to face so it's easier. So let's take the right leg out long, and we're going to take the left leg and flip it over so that the foot is on the other side of the knee. And then we're going to begin a rotation. So we turn towards the thigh. So left hand comes around behind to support. Right hand holds the knee, or indeed wraps the knee, or indeed comes on the other side of the knee. And as we sit tall through the spine, turning, twisting, looking around over the shoulder. Now we're going to use the breath here. So breathing in, lengthening, extending, sitting taller. Breathing out, twisting, turning. And if you bring your mind to your heart, so heart, middle of the chest, sternum if you like, and imagining your heart is twisting. It's sitting between your two lungs and your heart is like twisting, turning, wanting to look, turning to look behind. And just kind of allowing your body to follow that turn, to follow that twisting action. Breathing in, lengthening, breathing out, turning. 2 more breaths. So then, very slowly, we'll unwind back towards the front. Now, we've got a couple options here. We can take this crossed over leg and bring it further over. If you want to take it a bit further, the long straight leg can also bend, and we bring the heel up by the side of your hip, and we end up in this fairly strong cross leg. So just whatever feels like it's going to work coming into this kind of cross. I'm not really that worried about what we're doing with the legs, to be honest. It's just a comfortable cross-legged or, yeah. So we'll take the left hand up towards the ceiling, bending the elbow, bringing the hand to the back of the head or the shoulders, and then we'll use the other hand to ease the elbow backwards behind. So make sure the head is up straight, and then the elbow's moving backwards. You might find this is a nice place to be, helping the elbow move backwards. You might find you want to bring the hand out and round to make a connection behind, holding the hands or moving towards holding hands behind, making sure whatever you're doing, the elbow is really reaching upwards and the head is up straight. So opening out into the back of the arm up to the elbow. This is our small intestine energy line. If you feel comfortable here, if you want to take it a little bit further, the option here would be to lean a bit towards the right side. So take the elbow over the top of the head and just notice, how does that feel? What does that bring? 2 more breaths. Good, and then we come back to upright if you've been leaning. Release the hands if you've been holding, and have a good old shake around in the arms. Good, and then we're going to uncross the legs and stretch out here in the left leg out straight, right leg flips over the knee, sitting nice and tall, and then we'll begin our turn, twisting this time towards the right side. So this time, right hand comes around behind, left hand holds the knee or wraps the knee, and turning. Using the breath, breathing in, extending up through the spine to the crown of the head, breathing out, twisting. Breathing in the heart, lifting up through the chest, breathing out the heart, twisting to look around behind. You can visualize our heart's maybe got 2 little eyes on it, and it's turning. It wants to see behind. It wants to see the back of the room. In its little nestled place between the lungs, the heart is turning. Two more breaths here. And then we're going to slowly and gradually unwind back towards the front. So you might find the top leg wants to come just a little bit further over. You might find the straight leg wants to bend, come up by the hip. Just take your time arranging your legs. You might find that you need to do something different on this side because of some restriction or injury in your legs and your hips. So please just respect and move as necessary. When you're ready, right hand lifts up, bending to the back of your head, and then we're going to hold the elbow and ease it backwards. So we're sort of do a preparation move, like helping the elbow backwards. The body's like, okay, yeah, I know what we're going to do here. I'm preparing. And it might just be that this is exactly where we want to be. It might be that you can take the hand around and behind, and again moving towards a connection between the fingers on this side. Please respect what your body says, and if on this side it feels tighter and we have to do less, so be it. If you want to add that extra bit and just lean the elbow across the body towards the left side, then we can just try that out and see how that feels. Like actually for me right now that feels too intense. I can't do that. 2 more breaths. Okay, so we come back to upright if you've been leaning. Release the hands if you've been holding. Release the arms. Have a good old shake around. And then also releasing the legs. So we come to our final part of the class where we're going to do some sitting meditation. So this would be a chance to grab a cushion or something to sit on. And we've been exploring what people call Do Zen. So Do means moving. So Do Zen are moving Zen. And now we come to explore a little bit of Zazen. Za means sitting. Yeah. So we're in a comfortable position, allowing the legs, sitting bones, knees, feet to be resting comfortably on the floor, just depending on what position you've chosen. And then we're sitting nice and tall, aligned, balanced, long through the spine. Imagining you're holding a soft ball in under your chin towards your chest. So just tucking the chin down and in slightly. Eyes soft and lowered. Face is relaxed. Shoulders relaxed. Hands are soft. And then, since we've been doing quite a bit of work today in the hara, in the belly, going to really purposefully, consciously soften the belly. We don't need the belly for postural support. The belly can be really soft. And when the belly softens, that allows the energy to sort of swirl around more comfortably and gather, accumulate down here. A strong, engaged, energized belly. The seat of our digestive fire, what in yoga they call Agni. Agni is the Sanskrit word, it's the root of our word ignition. The fire in the belly, the inner sun residing in the hara. And in the chest, our soft, cool, content heart. Now, one of the organs that also gets associated with this season is the pericardium. And in the Western view, pericardium is a bit of a niche anatomical thing. It doesn't really get spoken about very much unless you have a problem with it. But in the Chinese system, the Zen system, it gets pulled out as an important organ. The pericardium is a sheath around the heart. It's like a protective sheath. It is the fascial wrapping around the heart organ. And it's seen as being the protector of the heart. The heart is often referred to as being the emperor of all the organs. And the heart protector, the pericardium, is like the soldiers guarding the emperor. Now, what happens when the soldiers get a bit overzealous and over strict is that no one can see the emperor. So it's like our heart becomes closed, it becomes locked in. It becomes very protected, guarded. But if the soldiers are doing things right, then they'll recognize when it's safe, appropriate to let down their guard and let the Emperor be seen, let our heart shine out, be felt. So right now, I really do hope that we're in a place which feels safe and we feel comfortable to let those guards have a rest. Allowing your heart to become more seen, open. Allowing the energy of your heart to radiate out. And we know from science that the heart has a very distinct energy. Every time it pulses, it produces an electromagnetic field, a coherent field, which is measurable outside of the body. So the pericardium can relax, and the field of our heart energy can just radiate out. And it can radiate out in lots of different forms. It might just be an acceptance. It might be a kind of joy or happiness, contentment. It might be a little bit more active in terms of maybe a wish to relate. To be in relationship. Or more active still, a wish for everyone I encounter, for everyone who feels this energy field of my heart, to feel well, content in themselves. And it may just be that there are certain people in your life that just need that little bit extra right now. So perhaps we could radiate out in their direction a little bit extra love. Perhaps a wish for them to feel well and safe, happy. And we know that our system is strong, grounded. We have developed this hara energy. We're solid on the ground right now, which allows our heart the freedom, the space, the ability to radiate out this kind of loving kindness without feeling like we're being depleted. Or at least that's the intention. So your heart, as it beats, can just send out this energy, this intention into the world, into our neighborhood, maybe even into the whole country, the whole world. Perhaps a wish for all beings to be well and safe, happy, content. Wherever they might be, whatever they're doing. Soft in your face, in the eyes, the cheeks, the jaw. Soft in the shoulders, the hands. Soft in your belly. Soft in your breath. And as we come to the end of our practice together today, just going to bring a little bit of movement back. So perhaps you want to take a deeper breath. Perhaps you want to sway a little bit from side to side. And just when you feel ready, we're going to bring the hands together in front of the forehead. And then bowing here to yourself, to your own practice, your effort that you've put towards yourself today. Coming up here, making this diamond shape on top of the head, laying it over the crown. And then we come out to the side, we're going to gather up some energy from the room, bringing it into the chest. We bow to this energy that we've been making together, us all practicing together over the airwaves. And then here from the chest we go forwards and down to the floor, bowing and saying thank you to our teachers and all the people who have passed things down over history for us to learn today. Coming up. So lovely, thank you so much. Nice to practice together. Hopefully we feel nice and airy and cool in the heart for the next few hot days to come.